Hello and welcome back to the RattleMind podcast. I'm Rye, and my co-host joined me.
I'm Panchy.
All right, and today we're going to talk about books. Exciting, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like, yeah,
I wasn't ready for that question, especially about books. But I mean, yeah, reading's exciting. Reading's good for you kids. Pick up a book from time to time.
you know what's funny is that for the longest time I really did not read any books, mostly because of how much I hated what was forced upon us in school.
How did I know? I was literally in my head the stuff they forced down our throats in high school, and then you said that, and I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, I mean, as it is, here, let me switch screens. This is the series that I read in grade school, which is Animorphs. I'm
Oh
sure
my God,
basically everyone our age read Animorphs growing up.
I have so many Animorphs books. Oh my, I love them so much. I was so addicted to that series.
Sadly, I lost all my Animorph books.
No.
Yeah, they got.
Sorry.
I put them in storage, and the storage unit we had an infestation of mice, and they just
Oh
ate all
no.
my books.
Oh no.
Yeah, wow. I really did stop reading this really far.
Yeah, I think I have, oh gosh, how many is that? At least 40? They had many. I think I've seen them at least in the 70s. There's so many. And then the little spin-offs about the different races of
Yeah,
aliens. So for those who don't know, it's the I know these covers are looking really odd, but it's about these students, I guess. I don't want to call them kids per se, but
well, they were young. They were like middle school age. I
yeah,
guess that would probably be best.
teenagers
Yeah.
happened upon alien, a dying alien, passed on the gift of their race to morph into different animals, hence animorphs.
Yeah.
If your gears are turning, it's all clicking together, animorphs. So the part of the gift is that you actually have to touch the animal to get the power to turn into that animal, and they fight aliens. uh you learn a lot about you know you never know who you can trust. Your loved ones could be not your loved ones at all, and I don't uh
You know what
trust
just
anybody. No, I'm just
you know
kidding.
what just hit me is that the bad guy race in the Animorphs is basically the
Years.
Goa'uld from Stargate.
I totally agree. As I was binging Stargate SG-1, I was like, those are Yerks.
Exactly.
Yerks. And they're just as big a pain as Yerks.
Apparently it went all the way to 63 books. At least that's
What
what
was
this.
63?
Yeah.
Could have swore I saw something at 75 or something. I don't know.
It could be that just this website, Goodreads, only goes up that
Yeah.
far.
I'll Google it. I'll
I think I stopped
fact check
reading
myself.
around book 40 because I was just starting to read them to where I'd read the entire book in an hour.
Me too. Me too. They're a very easy read.
I mean, yep, I got it. That's actually
What Animorphs do? 80, it says there's 83 total works.
83.
So I
Oh,
guess that
yeah, because
includes
there's the offshoot books.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the alien specific ones that I have. I even have the book. So very briefly, there was a show based on Animorphs, and it didn't last very long. It wasn't
Which,
great, but it wasn't horrible.
which the funny thing is about the Animorphs TV show.
There was an actor in there that went on to do oh shoot, what was it? I cannot remember.
There were a couple of them. the actors, you have Sean Ashmore.
Yeah,
He went on to be in X-Men as Iceman Bobby,
that's right.
and then
I will always remember him as Jake
yep,
from Animorphs.
and then you have Paulo here. He went on to be in a lot of good shows. Royal Pains. That was one of the shows that he was.
Oh,
Yeah. What else is he? The odd thing is that he actually went on to be in more stuff than most of the cast from Animorphs. Because I don't think any of them really got much of a
yeah, they didn't go much further than that. Yeah,
yeah.
which is fine. It happens. But yeah, the show didn't do very well. But I have a book that was like about the making of the show. Like that's how much I loved Animorphs.
Yeah, it was a fun show when it was on. Actually, was it Sean that went on to be Iceman, or was it his brother? No, it was his Sean.
No, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I googled him just so I could remember what his face looked like, and I was like, yeah, that's him. That's him. That's
Well,
him.
the thing is, Sean has a twin brother, Aaron, and they're both actors.
Oh,
Cause yeah,
I didn't know you had a twin.
yep.
Okay, right on, right on.
So what was Aaron in? I find this funny. This episode is supposed to be about books, and here we are going on about TV shows. Yeah, he was Jimmy in Smallville.
Oh, I was obsessed with Smallville for a little while anyway. But
Yeah,
okay, right on. That's
I
pretty
actually
cool.
have all of Smallville on DVD still.
Nice.
I need to
I
finish watching
was
Lock and Key.
do what?
I need to finish watching Lock and Key.
Oh,
I've only seen the
that's
first few episodes of it.
is there is it based off a book by any
Yes,
chance? No,
it is a based off of it's either a book or a comic book. I don't remember, but yeah,
well, I mean, The Walking Dead was based off of a comic book series, right? I mean, I
yes, it
guess if
was.
you can call graphic novels or whatever you want to call 'em. Not quite a manga.
Well, The Walking Dead was actual comic books.
Okay, okay. They were really thick though. Like my friend Carly had some copies of them, and they seemed pretty thick for comic books, if I remember correctly. But
Um, well, they weren't the standard comic books. They were,
I,
uh, well, they would be in the graphic novel classification. Oh well, we don't need to keep looking at Lock and Key. All right, let's get back onto our topic of books.
yeah,
Because we went on a whole tangent for what, about 6 minutes just on to side stuff. We'll probably go back to movies and books because some of these books have actually been turned into movies. So,
yep, yep.
a connection to what we had talked about on Monday's show is because we talked about Jazza. Well, his brother is an author, Shad M. Brooks. And I've been considering buying his books and reading them. I haven't yet, but I probably will at some point.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Try not to think of his sword as a lightsaber like I did.
It does look the glowing sword. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Brandon Sanderson is another good author to read. But I didn't pull up him, so.
Similar writing styles.
Similar vein of book,
Right.
high fantasy and stuff like that.
What is your favorite genre?
Fantasy. That's what I read the most.
Same. Fantasy, fiction, if not fantasy fiction.
Yeah, I can read nonfiction to an extent, but I cannot
Right.
get through a full biography or just a biography in general. It's like
Yeah.
something that, what do I know want to know about this person? Okay, well, I can access his biography. Let's look up his this person's, what were they doing when they were 23? Oh, they were falling off of a balcony and breaking their back. Okay, that's good to know. Which
I
technically that
can't.
was a reference to Orlando Bloom. He went to a party and he climbed up the drain pipe uh, and he fell off the balcony he was trying to get onto and hurt his back.
Wow.
I think that
I did not
was,
know that about him.
yeah, I think that was after Lord of the Rings, uh, between the first and second pirate movie, I think. I could be wrong. It's been so long since I've actually,
Interesting.
yeah. Uh, Brain just stopped working.
Next book.
All right, yeah, the Aragon series.
Oh my gosh, yes, 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 yes.
I have,
I
I've not actually read them. I watched the movie they made about it, but which
no.
that movie was
Oh no.
all kinds of special.
Well, at least okay. So true Aragon book fans do not dare speak fondly of the movie. However, my sister, who also had never read the books, who went with me, and I believe our dad took us to see the movie, and she enjoyed it, not having any idea just how much they butchered the book. Like they could have called the movie anything else and not offended all of us who just like were obsessed with the books. Like they messed it up so bad. The ending was so bad that like if they were to make a second movie, the second book was already messed up, you know?
Yeah,
Oh god. But the book series is pretty dang good. I only have the first three books, which is horrible, I know, but like I will always have such a special a special play a special place in my heart. I named my car Sapphira after the main dragon character. Actually, is it Sapphira? I
let
think
me
it's
move up the
Sapphira.
back. So let's see, top. There.
It was spelled, yeah, with an I. I'm not sure if it's Ira or Ira,
Yeah.
but I did name my car after the dragon. And whenever I say my car's name in my head, I switch between the two. So don't judge me. But there is a pronunciation guide in the back, but like I haven't like looked at that in so long. Great books. Burn every copy of the movie you can find. Don't. I can only imagine how horrific the video game was. Just don't.
I didn't even know there was a video game.
There was, yeah. I don't know. I just avoided it like the plague.
Yeah, the only thing I remember about the movie is that the animators, to get the dragons to do what they wanted to, like dive and stuff, they had to literally break the mesh and put the wings inside the dragon's body, enable so that they could get the
The
actual
shot.
visual shot. Yeah,
Huh.
I'm pretty sure that my sister had all three books or the first three books.
Yeah, yeah, there are more. I think. Yeah. Yeah, there are. There are.
Uh,
Alternatively, if you're ready to move on to the next book, Golden Compass
let's see
was
it.
an amazing trilogy, and when they made that movie they did a really good job. Yes, so apparently its real name is His Dark Materials. I have it as the Golden Compass because I live in North America. So
Yeah.
um it's they did a great job with that movie. They stayed true to the characters for the most part. They tweaked a few things as you would expect, but didn't overkill it to the point where it's not the same thing anymore. It's another great fantasy book series. Um, really, uh, like just a lot of thought and effort was put into this series for sure. Very creative, extremely creative.
Yeah, I've only seen the movie, just like the last book.
And these are good reads. These are good reads. Did you pull up the Abhorsen series? No, it's okay. It's okay. We don't have to get into that one. It is a
Okay.
pretty cool one though. A lot edgier than your usual uh happy-go-lucky fantasy series.
Right. Well, then
And
let's.
bells as weapons. So
All right, so let's move on to the next book. We'll go to Harry Potter.
Harry
And
Potter. Oh, I was one of those nerds always so excited when the next book came out. Oh,
I tried to read the first book, but I got bored with it.
oh no.
And most of it is because at the time I was reading books where the font was so small that reading the larger print font was just hard to do anymore, which is a weird thing to say. You would think reading the
Yeah,
smaller print is harder, but apparently going from small print to large print, it,
it's too frustrating.
yeah, it just, I couldn't connect it because I was seeing only a few words per line when I'm used to seeing like almost a paragraph in one sentence line or in one line of text. And it's like, wow.
Okay, weird flex, but okay. Just kidding, just kidding. But uh you know, even with what we know or what has been said about J.K. Rowling, which I think has been a bit like exaggerated, she's very talented and she put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this series. And
Right.
I just thoroughly enjoyed it growing up in high school and stuff. And before, like I grew up with the books, you know. So,
And
um,
you gotta give her that she actually got a lot of kids to get into reading. I mean, there were so many
she
kids
made
that
reading a
weren't.
whole lot of fun.
Oh yeah, there were so many kids who were just tired of reading and wouldn't look at anything except for what they had to. And the Harry Potter series gave them the chance to use their imagination in a new way rather than just playing video games and stuff. So,
Like magic was a foreign concept when Disney movies were loaded with magic, you know,
yeah,
like it just made it feel kind of realistic because it like happened in like the real world, so to speak, you know? So, but like I think it got a lot of, yeah, you're so right. I never thought about it like that. Like I agree, it got a lot of kids into reading and actually enjoying reading for sure.
my only real complaint about the Harry Potter series is the Sorcerer's Stone in the US is called the Sorcerer's Stone, whereas the Philosopher's Stone was perfectly fine and a known concept across across most countries that it was called the Philosopher's Stone. It is not the Sorcerer's Stone, it's a Philosopher's Stone. It turns metal into gold, it increases your longevity of your life. It's a Philosopher's Stone. Ah, that is the one gripe I have. The stupid blasted people having to change its name because they thought, oh, Americans aren't going to know what a philosopher's stone is.
I mean, when I think of philosophers, I don't exactly think of like alchemy. It should be the
Well,
alchemist stone at that
yeah, well,
point.
originally a philosopher was someone who would practice, who did both alchemy and theoretical thought and stuff like that.
Ah.
That's why it was called the philosopher's stone.
Well, the radical, or not even necessarily radical, but like, you know, thinking outside the box concept is always the first and usually only thing that comes to people's minds. So I didn't know that it was like, you know, a lot deeper than that.
Yeah.
If that is common knowledge and I just don't know it, that's very possible as well.
Well,
But I wouldn't have minded Philosopher's Stone. I wouldn't have minded it at all.
yeah. I mean, and I think the vast majority of America, if they had kept the title the same, would have had absolutely no problem with it. I mean, they would have
Right.
gotten. The book explains what the stone is, and you can actually look up what the stone is if you're actually interested. So,
Right.
and yeah, you type in the Sorcerer's Stone, you're only going to get that Harry Potter North American version, a book reference, and not the actual, what is a Philosopher's Stone. Oh, but yeah, like I said, that's my
Well,
only big gripe with Harry Potter is that they changed the freaking name.
funny.
Ah,
Uh, uh, the movies. So the movies were so enjoyable in comparison to the book. For me personally, was kind of meh, but the movies were still like really cool. They were just such a cool experience, and I think it like really like turned the Harry Potter verse,
yeah.
the Potterverse, into a thing.
Well, it's the Wizarding
Otherwise
World.
it would have just been,
The
huh?
Harry Potter universe is called the Wizarding World.
Oh, fair enough, fair
So
enough. The Wizarding World.
yeah,
Um, uh, I'm glad that it made it a thing.
right.
Like it made it like not exactly same tier as like Star Trek and Star Wars and like
Well,
those kinds of things, but like it was still like cool and big and
well, when you think about
you
it,
know
technically it is on the same tier as Star Trek and Star Wars. It's just not sci-fi. It is
I thought of those
fantasy.
as like much more complex. My
You,
brain said don't say complex, say complicated, but I was like it's too late, I'm saying complex.
oddly enough,
Sorry.
it, trying to figure out the Wizarding World is just as hard as trying to figure out what the Force is. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's just you
Huh.
have sci-fi elements versus magical elements. You have
But
space
man,
wizards versus actual wizards.
that when you really like boil it down, that's true. But like Star Wars is like true fans, like, well, not true necessarily, but the big time fans like get into like the politics and stuff
That
of it,
yeah,
which I guess yeah, I guess you can like argue, especially once like Fantastic Beasts came out and stuff like that, that it kind of got into the political side of
right.
things. um but
Yeah.
like that's an intense, like that is like 50% of Star Wars is the
Yeah,
political stuff.
Star Wars is mostly political with a little magic mumbo jumbo for the Force,
Right.
which, when most people once they saw Star Wars and if they were actually into Star Wars, it's like, all right, I'm going to sit and meditate. I'm going to move these rocks. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So, and then you get Harry Potter and they're like, I'm going to get me a wand and I'm going to be a magician. I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
They both inspired basically the same feelings.
exactly, the same
One,
sense of community and
right.
belonging and passion.
With Star Wars, it was more of a adult type of thing. You're going to be in your late teens to 20s, whereas Harry Potter, you could be any age and really start to get into it. And like I said, it started getting so many kids interested in things. So,
Exactly.
all right. Let's see. Do we want to move on?
Well, let me just say that the website you're on is, I have an account on that, and it's really cool how it breaks down like you as the witch or wizard. It'll find out your Patronus and your house,
Right.
obviously, and all that fun stuff. That's a really cool website for Harry Potter fans, so check it out.
Yeah, it's got
It
so
breaks
much to it.
down the type of wand you get. Like it's, oh, so cool. Just so cool.
Yeah. See, I never really got into Harry Potter to that level, but I mean, yeah, here's the quizzes and stuff you can take.
Ravenclaw represent. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay. But let's move on because I'm sure we could probably talk more about Harry Potter and stuff like that. But
Yep,
so,
yep.
uh, this is actually the series that got me back into reading when my mom found a copy of the first Dragonlance books, and she gave it to me in freshman year of high school, I think. And that's when I started reading again. Because for basically all of middle school, I was like, I am so not interested in reading because all the books I could think of to read, I would read in like 5 seconds. So it was like, what's the point in reading if I'm done so fast that it's not enjoyable?
Right.
Uh,
Fair enough, fair enough.
but yeah, then basically with the Dragonlance series, I mean, I'm a ton of people know this because Dragonlance started off as Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman's Dungeons and Dragons campaign. They actually built the campaign and stuff, and this was their. It was actually a retelling of the story of their group playing through their campaign, and eventually, uh, Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, TSR actually created modules, the actual game, based off of the world of Dragonlance. So you could actually still play it.
Hmm.
I am not currently a fan of what Hasbro Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons have been doing of late. So,
Yeah, I haven't heard the best things about their recent decisions.
yeah. So, if I actually do go into playing a tabletop thing, I think I'm probably going to go with Pathfinder. Um, just because the company that makes Pathfinder is creating their own license that they will not try and take your campaign work and then try and translate it into movies or video games or something like that.
Right.
Which, from what I know, the real problem with Dungeons and Dragons stems from the people they hired to be in charge of Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, because they all came from, well, the one in charge of Dungeons and Dragons, she came from Microsoft, the Xbox side. So her goal is to increase monetization of Dungeons and Dragons. So, and that's why the
Wow.
end user agreement that they were posting had that anything you create based on our works is going to be owned by us, and we have the right to use your works in any type of format we want, and you can't do anything about it. So,
On planet did they think that'd be a good idea?
it
What the hell?
exactly. So, yeah, I am not happy with Dungeons and Dragons. So, and I know that a ton of people have decided they're never going to buy anything past 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Right, right. Good. That's good.
Yeah.
Cause like, can't you like get in trouble for like posting videos and stuff of your sessions after a certain point because of this?
Yeah, that open user agreement, they were going to say anything you put up, like if you were doing a campaign to, you know, air your session online and like a
Yeah.
critical role, they you owed them more than 70% cut of any profits you make off of it. It's like,
Jesus.
holy
No.
cow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
Corporate greed at its finest, and in an area of, you know, the industry that you would least expect it from too.
well,
Just,
the problem is that because of Stranger Things, everyone got interested in Dungeons and
oh,
Dragons. So,
yeah.
I mean, it was like the second, it was like the third or fourth wave of the resurgence of Dungeons and Dragons, because you had the initial stuff, and then it came big again with Critical Role, and Then you had Stranger Things, and that brought it back up again.
It's so sad that they like saw that and got all that honor and like was like, man, I could have made so much money off of that. Like
Well, it's because Hasbro as a company was starting to suffer. They're not making much money, and for some reason, Hasbro as a company is starting to say, "Oh, we're not going to make toys anymore. We're just going to focus on Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that." It's like this
hmm,
is not where you're going to make your money. Yes, you have your books and your modules and you can keep producing those, but you're cutting quality out of your toys and you're known for
right.
toys. Why are you going to uh, but yeah, enough of Dungeons and Dragons talk. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
They just frustrated the heck out of me for that.
for sure, for sure. The
Uh,
Dragonlance sounds like a cool series. It really does.
yeah,
Speaking of cool series, I am so sorry.
go
I
ahead.
forgot to mention a book called Name of the Wind. Um, it's by Patrick. Oh, what's your last name?
Oh,
Rothfuss.
his name, yeah.
Uh,
I know Patrick
I only read the.
Rothfuss.
Oh, do you? Okay. Hopefully in a good way.
Yeah, he's.
Okay, good.
I've actually seen some stuff, seen interviews with him, and he's a really interesting person.
I
Uh,
believe it. So I've never seen an interview with this man, but Name of the Wind is like one of the most well thought out, fascinating, engaging books ever. So like one of the reviews I read of it after I read it, because don't read reviews before you read a book. That's not cool. Like,
right.
that's breaking the don't judge a book by its cover rule, basically. um, but one of the reviews I read after read the book was like the magic in this is like so well thought out and well calculated. It's shocking it doesn't actually work in real life,
Right.
because it's like it's so like it sounds so feasible and it's so unique and it's so like I laughed, I cried, I like ugly cried at some, like the emotions it invokes and like it's so witty and funny and it was so good and I'm so glad we were talking about books because I should reread that and like get the sequel and like get into the series and stuff. That's what I want to do now.
Yeah, my mom and sister got me a Kindle for Christmas, basically, and ever since I've just been buying book after book for that thing, and I got so many that I'm got to read
That's awesome.
because it's easier to
So
find some of.
inexpensive.
Yeah, I mean, look at this $99.99 for a copy on Kindle.
Yeah, yeah. It's no, it's eco-friendly.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think about that. That's my problem with. Okay, we're not going to go into the eco stuff. No, no. Okay, we'll
Okay,
stay
maybe
off that
not
topic.
as.
That
I
may
mean,
be
it's
another topic over in another video.
right, right. I mean, it's more eco-friendly than the number of trees that have to get chopped down to make the books, I guess. Would that be fair at least?
Yes and no.
Oh my goodness.
Like I said, this will be another topic for another video because I
Well,
could
it's
spiel
instant
about a lot of stuff.
gratification. You buy it, you can just immediately start reading it. It doesn't have to get
Right?
shipped. You
Yeah,
don't have to get out of your house.
that is where it's worth it. Is that you can read it
Okay.
instantly. We'll go with that.
And super inexpensive. It's
Yeah.
financially friendly.
The only problem with having, Kindle stuff is that you don't actually have the physical book. I enjoy reading physical books.
Me too. That's why I still have all my old books.
Yeah. Okay. Let let's switch to another one that's just mine. Uh,
Yes.
Terry Goodkind. I have all of the Sword of Truth series books in paperback, except for like the. Well, I guess I don't have all of them because there are a few that I don't have that I would like to have. There's like two or three that are Kindle only, and which I'll probably buy eventually. But this series that he did, I love how the story progresses. I'm not too fond of how the whole relationship of the main male and female character starts off with, because it's kind of like I get it, but you kind of went a little too fast.
Yeah, little rush, little clunky. That happens.
No, it wasn't that it was clunky. It was just that that whole love at first sight type of deal. It was like
Um,
instantaneous type of thing for him, and it was like me personally, if I'm in a relationship, it has to build up. So it's like I don't get the connection of
it's
the
just
love
not
at first sight. Yeah,
relatable.
at
Yeah.
least for me. So, but
I mean, I get it. I get the that like attraction, that like instant crush attraction thing, but at the same time it's kind of a dated concept anymore. It's like more interesting to
right,
me, like in books and television and stuff when it's like a work in progress kind of thing.
yeah. Oh man, my throat is starting to get all crunchy. Which we've actually gone over our usual time by about 6 minutes, but it's
Oopsies.
books. You have to talk about books. I mean,
Oh my gosh, yeah. We're gonna have more
yeah, I
parts
think we're gonna
for
do a
books.
yeah we're gonna do another part because I still have like a whole bunch of stuff that we can talk about, but we'll
Yeah, same. I was thinking of
yeah
the more we talk about it, the more comes to my mind, but I have to
exactly
restrain myself a little bit. In fact, I thought of a nonfiction book that like I actually and not only was it nonfiction, but it was a book I almost read all the way through for class
wow
that I really love called Catch 22. It's not, you know, unpopular or anything. Like it's pretty well known name, but Catch 22 is like a thoroughly enjoyable mind bending kind of cool nonfiction book.
yeah
But I this what you're looking at now looks really
oh yeah
interesting.
I
So
I
you
got
didn't like how the relationship kind of kicked off. Not like an official relationship, but like the dynamic. But
the
it
initial
looks very
dynamic
interesting.
is yeah the only thing that I didn't really get into, but I like I said I have everything up till the last three. I don't have the first
Wow.
confessor, but the thing is, our friend missed. I got her into reading these books.
Okay, okay.
She actually went out and bought these books.
That's awesome.
I don't know if she's actually finished any of them because she's like my family and stuff. We have tons of books everywhere. I've seen a picture of her shelves. Holy cow,
Yeah,
she has a lot of books.
that's great. I have books on my shelf that I haven't read yet that I should probably do the honor of at least reading and checking out.
Uh, but yeah, if you're looking for a series to get into, I highly recommend the Sword of Truth series.
Yeah, it looks very mystical and magic-y and adventurous.
Yeah, it is along the lines of Epic Quest type of deal, but each book has its own self contained portion, and then
Right.
it leads into the next book and into the next book, and
Yeah. So it all connects pretty
yeah.
cohesively. That's good.
All right, I think we'll end our discussion of books here for tonight, or today, or
All right.
this evening, or whatever time it is that you're watching this.
Oh my gosh, one of the books is called Naked Empire. How do you not get intrigued by that?
Yeah, uh, that was actually
Nudist colonies and
no, it's not that, but yeah.
I figure.
Um, oh, okay, but yeah, we're wrapping things up.
Outro. Focus.
Outro. Yep. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, follow, like, comment, subscribe. And is there anything you'd like to say before we end?
Nope, this was fun, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Until then, later, everyone.